So good morning, ma'am. So we will now be reporting the cognitive and metacognitive factors. So first, we will define the cognitive. Cognitive pertains to thinking process such as perceiving, remembering, analyzing, reasoning, judging, imagining, and problem solving. So in these cognitive developments, you will be using your mind for you to understand and for you to analyze any situation or any problem that you will be answered, and also you will be having a problem solving in mathematics. Next one is the metacognitive factors. Metacognitive factors people knowledge and control of their own thinking process. So dito sa metacognitive factors, ito naman yung kung saan ang mga tao ay mayroong kaalaman and nakokontrol nila kung ano yung naiisip nila or yung sariling iniisip nila. We have a sixth principle that we have to be reported, but we'll be discussing some of the principles in the cognitive and metacognitive factors. So the principle number one is nature of the learning process. The learning of complex subject matter is most effective when it's an intentional process of constructing meaning from information and experience. For example, habit formation in motor learning. So, in the nature of the learning process, dito natin natututunan or dito yung pinakamas epektibo na kung saan ang intensyon ng isang learner ay magkaroon siya ng um, or makakonstruct siya ng some information. So, next is the principle number 2. So the principle number 2 is goals of the learner. The successful learner over the time and with support and instructional guidance can create meaningful coherent representation of knowledge. The strategic nature of learning requires students to be a goal directed. So in this principle, the goals of the learner is to learn more knowledge. And for the students or the learner to actively have a learning or knowledge, the educator must have an instructional guidance, and the instructor must also create a strategic teaching for the students to learn more knowledge.
So now we will go to the principle 3, the construction of knowledge. The successful learner can link new information with existing knowledge in meaningful ways. Knowledge widens and depends as students continue to build links between the new information and experiences and their existing knowledge base. For example, students in physics class construct knowledge about heat principles of the study of the Earth's inner core, and then applied what they have learned to investigate the environment of Jupiter. So we have here how can we apply or teach construction knowledge to students? The construction of knowledge is fostered by the learner's development of self-regulation and self-awareness. Thus, we cannot merely support learners in learning relevant skills and information. We must also provide tools and contexts in which they develop their ability to manage their own learning. So we have here the principle for strategic thinking. The successful learner can create and use a repertoire of thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex learning goals. They understand and they can use a variety of strategies to help them reach learning and performance goals and to apply their knowledge in novel situations. You can develop strategic thinking in your everyday life. For example, you go on a trip and pack your things, thinking ahead, assuming what you need to take in case of bad weather, an illness, losing documents or money. So, 'di ba kapag may pupuntahan tayo, bago tayo umalis, gina-check natin yung things natin. Or kaya, may list na tayo ng mga things natin na kailangan natin i-pack. Tapos, ginaisip na natin kung may nakalimutan ba tayo or wala. Tapos, nag-overthink na tayo or nag-advanced thinking na tayo kung paano pag masama yung panahon, may masusuot ba akong jacket, may dala ba akong jacket, ganon. Paano pag may nangyari, may extra money ba ako, ganyan, may extra pocket money ba ako, ganon. So, example yun na strategic thinking.
Principle 5. Thinking about thinking. Higher order strategies for selecting and monitoring mental operations facilitate creative and critical thinking. In Principle 5, successful learners can reflect on how they think and learn. They organize their goals and monitor their progress towards these goals. If a problem occurs, they can generate alternative methods to reach their goal. Instructional methods helping learners to develop metacognitive strategies that enhance student learning and personal responsibility for learning. For Principle 6, Context of Learning. Learning is influenced by environmental factors, including culture, technology, and instructional practices. The rich internal world of thoughts, beliefs, goals, and expectation for success or failure can enhance or interfere with the learner's quality of thinking and information processing. Teachers play a major interactive role with both learner and the learning environment. Cultural, Cultural or group may influence students such as motivation, orientation toward learning, and ways of thinking. Technology's impact on learning is increased interactivity and class engagement, and it must be appropriate for learners' level of prior knowledge, cognitive abilities, and their learning and thinking strategies. The classroom environment can also have significant impacts on learning and to the most important factors that affect student learning because it is a space where feel they safe and secure.
For the question number 1, psychological factors include culture, teacher experience. So my answer is true. For the number 2, external contextual factors include thoughts, belief, and values. For me, it's true. The learner-centered principle focus on student characteristic in guiding teacher make instructional decision. That is true. Psychological factors and conditioned habits are within the control of the learner. True.
So, for number 5, we have the answer true. For number 6, what are the characteristics of successful learners indicated in Principle 1? Successful learners should be active, goal-directed, and self-regulating, and assume personal responsibility. So for number 7, what does it mean for learning to be intentional? The practice of treating every experiences as an opportunity to learn something. So for number 8, what kind of goal should teachers help learners to attend according to Principle 2? Filling gaps, resolving inconsistencies, and deepening their understanding to the subject matter so they can reach longer-term goals.
Question number 9. Based on Principle 3, what kind of knowledge is less useful and difficult to apply to new situations? I think it's the new knowledge because when new knowledge becomes integrated with the learner's prior knowledge and understanding, This new knowledge remains isolated and cannot be used most effectively in new tasks and does not transfer readily to new situations. For question number 10, what are the specific cognitive and metacognitive factors emphasized in Principle 1 to 6? The specific cognitive and metacognitive factors that emphasize in Principles 1 to 6 are the cognition, which pertains to a thinking process such as perceiving, remembering, analyzing, reasoning, judging, imagining, and problem solving. Second is metacognition, people's knowledge and control of their own thinking processes.